Hi, I'm Don Felder, and you're watching Artisan News.
Don Felder, one of the key members of the Eagles, has released his first solo album in nearly 3 decades, Road to Forever, and he's currently out in support. Felder was an integral part of what made the Eagles successful in the late 70s and had a hand in writing such hits as Hotel California, Victim of Love, and Those Shoes. After the band broke up in 1980, he was with the band again from 94 to 2000 for the Hell Freezes Over tour before he was fired. Road to Forever was released on October 9th, and it features appearances by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, members of Toto, Randy Jackson, and Tommy Shaw, who appears on the forthcoming single, Wash Away. Artisan News asked Don what the biggest obstacle was in getting the long-awaited album done.
Well, it took a long time to write all the songs. I was very meticulous about what songs went on the record, and I'd written 26 song ideas and had to sit down and cull it down to 16 songs. When I finally went into the studio, I called a bunch of really great friends in to help me on the project. And it took a little over a year in and out of the studio because I was on the road all the time. When I came back off the road and had some quote-unquote time off, I'd go right into the studio and start recording. So it was about a year process of recording the record. That was probably the most difficult thing.
The first song on the album is Fall from the Grace of Love, and he said that it was inspired by the break with his band The Eagles and his wife of 29 years in a 12-month period shortly after the turn of the century.
Well, when I was going through my separation from the Eagles, in that same 12-month period, I went through a separation and divorce from my wife. The feelings that went along with those two losses were something nobody really wants to go through. Dissolving a marriage of 29 years was maybe the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. So I wanted to write a song about that feeling, falling from the grace of love, and how nobody wants to go through that. And so that was the inspiration for that song.
As mentioned, Crosby, Stills, and Nash appear on the album in Fall from the Grace of Love, and he talked about how they came aboard for the record.
Well, Stephen is a great guy to work with, great musician, very talented. He was the front singer or lead singer in the band called the Continentals. The first job I had when I got to California was actually playing with Crosby, Nash. So I had known and played with all three of those guys over the years. We're still close friends and had spent a lot of time together personally, playing golf with Stills, hanging out with Graham. Our sons went to the same school together at parent-teacher conferences. So when it came time to need somebody to sing on the record, I thought, who better to call than Crosby, Stills, and Nash? And they were delighted to come down and do it. We had a lot of fun in the studio, and I'm very proud of the way that record came out.
Felder will be appearing with Crosby, Stills, and Nash at the Light Up the Blues event on April 13th. The concert will benefit the Autism Speaks charity. Meanwhile, you can see him talk about the Eagles and the history of the Eagles documentary DVD, which is set for release April 30th.